Hey everyone, welcome to Ink and Metals 5773 first workshop. This is for coding and it is app development, and we will be teaching Flutter. So what is Flutter? Flutter is Google's UI toolkit for building beautiful natively compiled applications for mobile, web, desktop, and embedded devices from a single code base. So for example, if you were to develop an application for the desktop, you would probably need something like Java and JavaScript or HTML, and for iOS, you would have to use Swift and Xcode. So instead of having to learn different languages and IDs, you can just use Flutter for all of them. So it is uniquely designed to allow for the same code to be used for Android, iOS, desktop, and web applications. It is programmed in Google's Dart language, which is very similar to JavaScript, Java, and Python. So setting up Flutter up is actually really quick and easy. All you have to do is go to this link. I can send the link in the chat. But we will actually not be using this today. We're going to be using Flutter online through a website called FlutLab. So some background information on Flutter. So before our first project, we first need to understand the most important thing about Flutter, which are widgets. So widgets are elements in an app. So they can be an image, a camera viewer, a table, a desk, a text box, a list. Pretty much every single thing in Flutter is a widget. So Flutter widgets are built in the build function in the main.dart file in the Flutter project. So this is where you return your widget with many widgets inside of it if you want it to be displayed on the screen. So you can have like one widget which has another widget. So maybe some like a square that is blue, and then inside that you can have maybe some text and an image. So now let's get started with our first project. So we will be using Flutter's open source documentation and following their first project, which is a startup name generator. And in this project, you'll learn how widgets work, how to style your Flutter app, how to implement scrolling, navigation, touch functionality, and much more. So now everyone open this link, which I have sent in the chat. It is for FlutLab, and you will have to be creating your account. And after creating your account, you can create a new project, and I will be screen sharing and explaining as we code. So if you guys could follow that link to FlutLab, and after you create your accounts and the project, please let me know. You can unmute or put it in the chat. Have you guys been able to sign up?
Yeah.
So once you create your project, you will have a bunch of code. You can just delete all of that. You don't need that. So yeah, after deleting all of the code, you will have a blank space. So first we will have to download some packages. So the first package we will download is Dart itself, which is, so you have to type in import and then in quotation marks package :flutter / material dot Dart. Okay, 1 second.
Are we gonna be like doing the same code as
Oh, you can
What?
delete all of that code. This is supposed to be completely new from that.
Okay.
So after you import your first package, we have to import another package called English words. So you can do that, except it won't work right now. You have to go to the pubspec.yaml file. It's at the bottom, so it's over here in Explorer. So once you click on that, you have to scroll down to dependencies and add the package as a dependency. So for this, what you have to do is you have to write English words. So you can write it just like around here. So you have to write English _words and then a colon and 4.0.0. That's the version we're going to be using. You can also go down here to pub commands and you can add English _words directly here. But this is what I prefer to use. So it might show some errors the first time. So to avoid that, you have to just reload the page. And it should work after that. So now you can see there's no errors. Has everyone completed that?
You used to pub add English words, right?
Yeah, once you go to this file at the bottom, it's called pubspec.yaml. You should be able to add English words just underneath Flutter. And under the dependencies, so right here. Oh, also make sure to add the semicolons. I forgot to do that. Okay, have you guys been able to reach this stage? Were you guys able to reach this stage?
I got like a couple of builders.
Okay, did you reload after doing this and the English words thing?
I did.
Okay,
Reload.
does everything have the semicolons and the quotation marks?
Yeah.
It should work. Maybe you can check to see if it's indented properly. And double check to see if it's exactly like this. Okay, so now we can get started with the actual code. So now we're going to create void main. So it's like the main thing. And then we're going to use run app, and then we're going to run the my app class, which we haven't created yet, but we will right now, just right now. So now you have to write so you had to first define class my app extends stateless widget. So basically what a stateless widget is it so a stateless widget is basically immutable, so you can't change what it is, and a stateful widget is mutable, so you can change it. So first we have to override all of this. So there's actually some code that was written for the stateless widget. So overriding is basically just deleting all of it and replacing with the code that we're going to add. So we're going to do add override. We're going to first build a widget. So widget build context. So this build context is always, the build method always expects the build context to always be there. The build method always requires that. So now you have to do this curly brackets and then declare final word pair is equal to word pair dot random. So word pair is actually something that is a part of the English words package. So now you have to return material app. So basically, a material app is an application that uses material design, and it's actually something that might be open sourced from Microsoft. So I had to do a parentheses, and then you have to assign the title. For now, we can just put something like welcome to Flutter. And then after that, you can declare home to be scaffold. So a scaffold is basic material design, visual layout structure. So yeah, and
I'm having like it's showing red lines on my app for some reason.
which one is it showing it for?
For line 4.
For line 4. If everything is imported correctly, it should not. So
Actually, yeah, no, it disappeared.
under scaffold, we can make app bar. So a bar in the app, and then we can make a title for it. And for now, we can just have it as some text, like welcome to Flutter. So now we're going to make a child of this. Oh, sorry, no, never mind. So we're going to make a body for the app, and we're going to make it centered. So we're going to make a child of this text. And the word pair is going to be all Pascal case, which basically means that the first letter of every word will be capitalized. So make sure that you have all of the commas and semicolons and the square bracket and the curly brackets right where they need to be. I'll give a few minutes to copy that. Okay, so now we're going to add a stateful widget. If you don't remember, a stateful widget is something that is mutable, so it can be changed. So that is going to be called random words, which will create its state class called random word state. And then we'll use random words as a child inside the existing my app, this my app stateless widget. So we're going to use random words inside this. So it's a widget inside a widget. So first we can define the random words class. So that is class random words extends stateful widget. And then you do at override. So you override all of the code in the stateful widget. And now you do random words state create state equals to and then greater than underscore random words state parentheses and then a semicolon. So basically what this does is it creates a new object inside this class in Java. So yeah. And the second class we're going to make is class random words state, since we use that here, but it's not defined. So we're going to define that now by doing extends state, and then we're going to use greater than and less than signs. And then override all of that. And then we're going to construct a widget. And then, like I said before, the build method always expects build context to be there. So now we have that. And return container, which is basically just an empty value. We can run that and see how that works. So yeah, as you can see, there's this screen with this title screen, and it has the random word that we generated. I'll give a few minutes for everyone to copy this down. Okay, let's move on. So instead of returning a container, it's better if we actually do a widget. So it returns a widget. So we can do, it's gonna output the same thing, but we can do word pair is equal to word pair dot random. So it just randomizes the list of words that we're creating. And then return, and it's gonna return it as text and the same thing as a Pascal case, which means that the first word is the first letter of the first word is capitalized, but the rest is lowercase. So if we run that, it's going to look the same actually. So yeah, it outputted the same thing. And since we have actual widget, we can actually go back to the My App class and we can delete this line of text because we already have a widget there, and using the widget is better than using the defined widget is better than using just text. So we can just say that it's a child of random words. So it's going to be random words and then parentheses. Yeah, I'll just give a quick scroll down once more. So
There are red lines on my random word.
random words, this one or here.
Yeah.
So this one, it shouldn't have a red line if it's defined properly. Okay, can you just check to see if it looks exactly the same as this? Because it's just defining the class, so it's not like it's not defined or anything. So maybe check to see if the curly bracket
No, it's the underscore random word state.
underscore. Oh, here or
Yeah.
here.
All of them.
Line 26 or 29.
All of the places.
Um, it's can you try reloading because it's defined here, so it shouldn't make an error here. So let's move on to the next part. So we're going to be creating this app is basically just going to have a bunch of random names like this, and if you just keep scrolling, it's just going to give more and more um names. So it's like an infinite scrolling view. So so now we can go to the random word state and we can expand it so it can have like an infinite thing. So it just keeps giving um, random names. So at the beginning, we can do final. Sorry, one sec. Out of here. So at the very beginning, we can do final and then underscore suggestions is equal to curly brackets word pair. Then this means that it's creating a list. So it's creating a list of words and it's just going to um, just keep creating and going through that list of words an infinite number of times. So after doing that, we can also change the size of the font by doing final underscore bigger font is equal to const text style font and set the font size to 18. Do 18.0. Okay, so now we can go back to the random words state class and we can add a new widget to have suggestions. So for this, we'll have to create a new widget and you can go out here. So yeah, we'll just create a widget right now called underscore build suggestions and then return list view dot builder. And now we're going to do padding, const, and then a colon, and then const edge insets dot all is 16. So the item builder callback is called once per suggested word pairing, and it places each suggestion into a list style row. So for even rows, the function adds a list tile row for the word pairing. So, and for odd rows, the function adds a divider to separate the entries. Although it won't really show on this. So now we can do item builder and then build context and for context and then int I to do that even odd thing that I talked about earlier. So it also adds a 1 pixel high divider before each row in the list view. So so if I is odd, it's going to add the divider. And if it is even, we're going to do final int index is equal to I, the curly thing, /2. And then we're going to do if index is greater than or equal to suggestions dot length, we're going to have it suggestions dot add all. So it's going to take 10 word pairs, 10 of the word pairs. And now we're going to return build row and then and then the index of this. We're getting some error for some reason. So I'm going to copy it from my code and you guys can copy that. So have you guys gotten all of this down? Okay, so now we're going to make a widget to add it into a row, so that way we can so that way all of this will be in rows and or be organized and aligned to the left. So we're going to take in word pair and then return list tile parentheses title. Oh, this is doing something. 1 second. And return list tile and then parentheses title and then text, and then you set the text as pair as pass. So this is pair dot as Pascal case, and then you put the style as a bigger font. Okay, so when you run this program, it's going to take a while. Okay, yeah, you can see that it has all of the things like this, and you can actually scroll through it and it just keeps on giving you new word pairs. So some changes that I actually forgot to mention. So when we went back to the override over here, we changed this to return scaffold. So scaffold is just implements the basic material design visual layout thing. And another thing that we did was back in my app, we changed the build function. Actually, I forgot. So we removed the app bar and you can pick this up. So we can just change this so it's not, so it's something related to the program itself. And the home is just random words. keep it like this. It should work the same. One second. So you can actually remove the app bar. This is not necessary. So now if you try it, it's gonna work. Most likely. Oh yeah, thank you. So yeah, I forgot that inconsistency. So it should work now. Sorry about that. Yeah, so as you can see, it works perfectly now, and you can scroll through the app like that. So I can just give a quick rundown of this. Scroll through it one more time. You can see if it works the same. So now we can. So now that you have a good grasp on Flutter, you can actually use your skills to make interactive apps for the STEM Olympics. So there are some further resources that you can use since not all of the basics were covered. Um, so not everything was covered. So there's the Flutter documentation, which is actually one of the best resources. So, and then there's also the links to the projects that we used. So this is part 1 from Flutter, and then there's also part 2. And there's also actually a Flutter tutorial on YouTube that you can also watch, along with our email, which is inkinmeadow5773@gmail.com. So email us if you have any questions as well. And here is the code that we covered today. So a quick thank you to our sponsors for this event. And we hope you enjoyed our workshop, and happy hacking. Thank you, everyone.